Good evening, everyone. I'm welcoming you to my latest project. It is a Jumia e-commerce clone. Now, this website, this project, I've been working on it for about 2 weeks now. It looks just like the Jumia website. If you don't know the Jumia website, it's an e-commerce store, jumia.ng. As you can see here, I have my slider. I have my categories. You can see this, looking neat. I have Oraimo products. You can see all the products. I have supermarket products or supermarket products, and I have gaming products. This website is mobile responsive, as you can see, mobile responsive. It looks clean, neat, well ordered, and really, really nice. Now, if we go to an individual item like this, mini me chin chin, you know I really like snacks. So if we go to supermarket items, we can see supermarket items like whiskey, sunlight, mini chin chin, oil. If we click on a specific item, we can see the item here. You can see free delivery is currently in stock. We can see the image of the product. We can see the product details, the specifications, and the product features. The sensation of fullness and generosity with notes of ginger and cardine fruit. Now you can add to your cart, see our cart item here, you can add to your cart, see, get updated with one item. Now if we go back to home, you can click on any project. This is currently loading. Any products, if we click on this, we come over to here, you can see Oraimo Free Pods 4. We click on add to carts. You can see our store, our cart gets updated, 2 items. Our product details, products, features, specifications. If we go back to our home, we have here categories of items. If we click on gaming, we'll be navigated to a page that will show us all the gaming products. As you can see here, we have gaming products, PS4s, headphones, games. If we click on the product, we can see the price is currently in stocks. The shipping fee, shipping from 3,000 naira. You can see Ubisoft Assassins, add to cart. Now, if we go to our cart, you can see all the cart items that we currently have. As you can see here, it's currently loading the images. We can see this free delivery, shipping fee 1,500, shipping fee 3,000 naira. We can see the subtotal here, 73,000 naira. You can see the images have now loaded. And if we want to remove any item from our cart, we can do that. We can just click on remove, and boom, it's removed. Our subtotal gets calculated. Our delivery fee, look at it here, and then our total will be the delivery fee plus the subtotal, and we'll have it over here, 41,000 naira. And guess what? This site has an admin page. Yes, if you come over to here, this is the admin page of the site. We'll also be creating this when we go to our code. On this admin page, you can see all your products. As you can see here, total products 44, total active orders 2. Now we can see all the products on the site here. We can also see the brand. We can also see the units that is available to be sold. We can see the delivery mode, if it's free delivery, and pay on delivery. You can see all the products on our site here. Then if you want to create a product, you can just create a product here. When you click on it, you can select an image. Let me just go to one image that I have here. No, that is not an image. Okay, this is an image. Okay, you can see, you can click on an image. Or let me see if I have something. Okay, you can click on an image, a product image. You can create the title, put it in the category you would like, select the price, the product brand, put details, key features, specifications, the number of units you have available, the delivery method, and the delivery price, and submit, and it will be added to the Jumia website here. And you can also see the orders that you have. For example, now we have 2 orders by Smart. Look at the phone number. You can see the delivery address is Lagos. The cart sum is 55,000. The delivery sum, and then the total. And these are the items that Smart has ordered. So if we go back to our site, we can see this. If a customer has picked items into his cart, as you can see here, we have 2 items in our cart. You just fill in your phone number and say, this is for my phone number. Then the delivery address, let's say South Africa, Cape Town. And then after filling this information, we can click on checkout. You can see it is loading. And you can see here it says, congratulations, your order has been placed. Order received successfully. Then you click on your button. Your cart will be emptied. And you click on your button to go back to the home page. Now, if we come to our admin section over here, we can just reload this. Okay, so now that we've reloaded the page, we can see the order we just made just now. ORMO 3.4, 3.4, Ubisoft Assassin's Creed. Now, this site is so clean. Look at the footer. Look at how the items are arranged. Supermarket items, Original products. Everything is looking clean and neat, mobile responsive, like I've showed you. Now you can log in using your Gmail or your Google account. You can click on this to log out. As you can see, I'm logged out now. And when you are logged out, let me show you guys some neat tricks with this application. When you add an item to your cart, like let's click on this item. Sorry, my data is so slow. That's why if you want to help me get better internet, you can help subscribe to my membership on my buy me a coffee. If you will, it really, really helps. Thank you. So I can get better internet. So if you add an item to a cart, you go to your cart, you see the item, it won't allow you to check out. It will tell you that you have, please log in to be able to check out. You need to be logged in before you can submit an order, because it is true you logging in that we get more information about like your name, and then you fill your phone number and your delivery address. So once we go to login, we'll be taken to our login section of our application, and we click on sign in with Google. If you guys want me to put other ways of signing in, like through GitHub and other means, just let me know in the comments. I will do that for you. So now you can click your Gmail or preferred Gmail account, and the site will automatically pick your name and use that, and your email, and use that to sign you into the application. Now, while this is loading, because my internet is so slow, we can take a look more at the admin page. The admin page is so awesome. It allows us to create products. It allows us to see all the orders. As you can see here, this is the first order, this is the second order, this is the third order. And if we go back, our page is still loading. So now that our page is loading, we can now click on an item. We can now add it to our cart, go to checkout, and we can see we can check out. But if you want to try and check out, it tell us to please fill in our phone number and delivery address before it will allow you to check out. So you can just put in your phone number and your delivery address, and you can check out. And it will submit your information. You can go back home, and it will submit your information here where you just reload, and you'll be able to see all your orders. As you can see, the latest order that was just placed. Okay, see it here. Oraimo Malt Smart Clipper 2, powerful professional cordless hair clipper. So you can see the phone number, the delivery address, the cart sum, the delivery sum, and the total. So this is an incredible application. You can see here, I edited the frame icon and also the title. You can see the application is looking clean and neat. And also when you come to mobile mode, when this section disappears in mobile mode, you can see you have this. When you click on this, you have all your categories. Look at this. Look at this. Just look at it. It's really, really nice. I took a lot of time and effort to make this application look neat. So if you will, you can also please subscribe to my membership here, so you can have access to the entire code, the admin code, and also the Jumia e-commerce clone code. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you're not able to support me, I will be going through how to code this application from scratch. I'll be doing it in a different method where I won't be explaining too much on styling. I'll just be focusing on explaining the logic part and the React part. But the styling, I will just style that quickly, and we'll just move on to more of the logic, so that the length of the video will not be too long. All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. I want you to npx create next application over here. I've already done that because my internet is slow. I like to do these things beforehand. Okay, TypeScript no, ESLint no, Tailwindcss, please say yes. Source directly, no. App router, no. Would you like to customize default import alias? Yes, and we're using at. So there it will create your next application and it will have it all set up like this. Now, the first things first, let's npm start. I want us to create the basic layout of our application. Sorry, not npm start, npm run dev. I was working on a React video, so I can't kind of remember. Okay, sorry about this. We need to go into the Jumia clone and then npm run dev. Okay, so we are on 3,200. So we're just going to shift this here and go to localhost 200. Then we're going to go back to our application. We're going to go to pages. And in our page, we're going to go to the index. I want us to move this. We're going to clear all of this out. Just cancel this. Yeah. Just clear everything. Okay, even the main. All right, so we're going to create a new main. Okay, so that's good. Then we're going to remove all of this. We're going to do any of this. So we need a layout. So a layout because we need to start with our navbar. So before we create the layout, I want us to install DasiyUI. So we're going to come over here. We're going to Control C. Come back to DasiyUI. Say get started. Let's go to installation, install. Okay, over here. Copy this. Come back. If you watch a lot of my videos, you say I like to use DasiyUI a lot. It's just so easy, and I just like the component. It's so consistent. Then we're also going to use MaterialUI. Let's copy this. Install that. And we're also going to use MaterialUI icons. So we should just go ahead and install that. Okay. Come over here. Copy. Okay. This is still running. Paste. Then we go back to DasiyUI. We'll see we need to go to the plugins and paste this in our Tailwind config file. Plugins. Let's remove this. Okay, so that's all we need to do for that. So now that we've done that, we have our icons installing. Let's go back to our main folder. We need to create a components folder. So let's create that component. The first component we're going to use layouts. Okay, so we're going to create a file, layouts.js. Now in our layout.js, like I said earlier, I'm not going to be writing everything from scratch. I'm just going to be explaining most of the logic. I'm going to write most of the logic, and then I will just be pasting most of the styling. So what we're doing here is very simple. We're just saying the layout children. As we know, children will allow anything we pass into layouts. So let me just explain that more when we go to the app. Let's go to the app.js. Access 5 million. Don't allow. Let's just do that. So when we go to the app.js, which is here, we're going to import layouts, and we're going to wrap this component with layouts. Let's say layout. Access your reminders. Don't allow. Layouts. Should allow us to import it from here. Okay, I see why it's not working. We create the component folder out of the Jumia clone folder. So we need to move this here. Okay, so it's in our components folder now. It should work. Exactly. So now we've imported layouts. npm run dev. Let's start this so that we can be seeing what we're doing. So in our components, we have layouts here. We're going to create a new folder and say Navbar. And in our Navbar, we're going to create a first thing. We're going to say index. Yes. Okay. In here, we're going to say RFC. We're going to change this to Navbar. And we're going to go back to layouts. And on top of here, we're going to say Navbar. Okay. You can see this. Okay. So let's go back to our Navbar. And I'm just going to copy this from here. I'm going to paste this and I'm going to explain this. So we have our div background orange, MX auto full width. We have our source. Let's run with this unknown word. Let's say image. Okay, so we have MX auto. We mistakenly put that twice. What's going on? Just see. One. There's a trying to okay, 1, 2, 2, 3,200. 3,002. But we're not seeing anything in our code. Let's go back to our navbar. Okay, why are we not seeing it? We're not seeing anything because there's some things they are not okay, so let's just count this. This skins this. Yeah, app we have our layout. So okay, you can see why we're having this issue. Exactly. Element tree is not defined. Let's go back to our index element tree. Let's count this and refresh on click sign in. Okay, so we have our code here. Let's explain it from the top. We have MX auto. We have our image, which is this image here. That's this first section. Then over here is our navbar. We need to set up our login, but we're not going to do that now. We're just going to hold on. We have the background white align middle, MD max 7. So we have this first image that is here, which is our Jumia logo, which we have not yet pulled. So what we're going to do, okay, so we're first going to create our navbar. Okay, we're just going to redo this whole process so that we can understand it better. And I don't feel like we're understanding it the way I'm explaining it. So I'm going to say this. Then we're going to pull the first section. So this is our first section of our image, which is this image. You can see it looking clean and nice. Then we're going to come over down here. We need our images. So over here, we're going to get our images. Jumia. PNG. This is our Jumia PNG. So if we go back to our Navbar, see div class name, bg white, and do. Then we can say div class name. We're going to say md or max width of 7XL. Okay. So most of our navbar items are going to be within here. So we're going to create a new item here. We're going to name it elements. No. Here. I'm going to name it elements 3. Our 3 is like this, .js. You say IRC element 3, perfect. Components. Actually. Okay, so in our element 3, this element 3 is our, if we come to our code here, I already knew the quota was going to be exceeded. If we shrink this, this is our element 3. This is navbar items. Okay. So if we come back to our localhost, we're going to create that functionality. But first of all, we're going to do a lot of imports. Then we're going to come here. Simple. Paste this. We're importing button menu items for MaterialUI. Local grocery store icon, just a lot of icons. And we're importing sidebar menu item from sidebar menu item, which we're going to create later on. So this element 3, we're just going to leave it here. We're just going to say menu here, and then we're going to go back to our code in our index, and we're just going to call it here, but later on we'll come and work on it. So we're going to say span class name flex space x2. While we're doing this, I need to, okay, so flex space x2. Then once we've done that, we're going to import element 3 here. That's our menu that we get. Okay, so we're going to go back to this element 3, and we're going to comment this, just leave that out. Okay, so see the menu here. We're going to work on it so it only shows in small mode. All right, so we're going to go back to our index. After element 3, we're going to have an image. We're going to paste here, and this on click, we're just going to leave it like as that. So this is the Jumia image. So when we unclick it, we're just going to go back to the main page. It's saying router is not defined, so we're going to define that. We're going to go up over here and import use router. You come here and say constant router goes to use router. And so that should be defined now, which is perfect. You just navigate back to the main page, looking clean. Now we're also going to need an input for DasiyUI. When we come back here, after the span, going to put the inputs and see how it looks. So see the inputs here. So this is a span is going to be hidden. Then when it's larger than medium size, it's going to be inline. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put a button to log in and sign up. And we're going to remove this on click sign in because we've not done that yet. We'll save and we can see our login and sign up here. Then we need a shopping cart. So what we're going to do, we're going to come to our Navbar and create a new file. Say shopping carts.js. Okay, this shopping cart is very straightforward. We're just using the shopping cart icon and we are getting items. These items will be the things in our cart, but for now, we're not using that. So we're just going to delete this and we're going to put here 0. Okay, so link is going to link us to the cart page when we're done with the cart page. So we're going to come back and after the span, we're going to import the shopping cart. And I'm just going to close. Okay. So when we come back, refresh. What is it saying here? Same expression expected. Let's check back. Look up TD. Everything here looks okay. We just need this to refresh. I think our application froze. Let's say lookup was 1000. It's currently still being set up, or it's trying to run. But we should be done with our Navbar page. So now we're going to go on to this section over here. Okay, so as you can see, it's loaded now. So we can see our Jumia icon and everything is good to go. Though our menu icon shouldn't be appearing unless it's okay, we've not fully customized the element tree, so later on we'll customize it and it will only show when it's in small mobile mode. So now next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to our main page, our index over here. So now that we're in index, we have our main. We're going to style this a bit. We'll say class name. We're going to say class name empty max with 7XL MX auto and padding of 2. First thing we're going to need a header. So we're going to come to our components and create a new file folder header, and in that header we're going to create many files. So let's start creating them. We're going to create header.js. We're going to create left side.js. We're going to create right side.js. Also going to create middle.js. Then we're going to create a side bar menu item.js. Okay, so we're going to start off with the header. Header is very simple. we're just going to say flex with full padding 2, the space between them, the left side, middle, and the right side. So we're going to start off with the left side. But before we start off with the left side, we're going to work on our sidebar menu item, which is going to be a component that we're going to be using. So in our sidebar menu item, we're going to get a link, text, icon, and active, which we're going to use to display some things in that. So when we're done with this, we're going to go back to our left side and copy. So we're going to come to our left side. And here we're just importing a lot of things, so we don't need this. We're just importing a lot of icons. Then we're also importing the sidebar menu item. And we're using styling here to hide it and only show it when it's greater than the medium size. So we see our sidebar menu item. We're getting our link, text, and icon. This one is the first one, so it's being active. So supermarket is the link because we're going to go to categories of supermarket items, health and beauty, etc. So over here in our left side, we should be able to see it now, but we may not due to the fact that we haven't styled it, or we haven't yet come to our index and said header. Okay. Okay, so what's the issue? It's saying pages index, we get the expression, not getting any of that. So home icon can resolved. Okay, so we're going to go back to our left side and we're going to delete this because we don't need it. I was testing a lot of different packages, heroes icon, MaterialUI icon. I just found material icon to have most of what I needed, so I just left it there. So it's saying element type is invalid, as well as string for built-in like class. So you like what to export your comment provide finding and change your method of header. So we'll go back to our header. Header is defined well here. Our left side. Okay, so I think the issue is we'll go to our header. Let us highlight this out. All right, so we're good. Spoke to sound, so soon. So we're good to go now. So as you can see, we're having our left side items. You can see there's a little bit of text shadow. I really like the effect. So you can see it's looking clean and neat. If we go back here, I want to add something to our global styles. All of this should be gone. I'm just going to have this, just this. So you can see our app is coming together. Now we have to work on the middle section. So we'll go back to our middle, our header, and we're going to uncomment this. Okay, so we'll come to our middle. And then over here, now middle. Okay. So this is just basically the slider, nothing else. So we're just saying the width should be 100%. If it's large, it should be 60%. And we're using the carousel full width. We're getting this carousel for our DasiyUI here. Let me look for a carousel here. So we're currently using this one, the last one, if I remember. Yes, we're currently using this one. Yes. So if we come back here, it's just the slider styling that we're using. That's just all we're using in the middle. That's really literally it. Then in our image, our source, we're changing the source. This is where you can change the image that you want to be showing. And that's just basically it. So if we come here, we can see it looking nice and neat. So now we need to work on this other side. So if we go to our left side, our right side now. Okay, so in our right side, we're just having two images. It's hidden. When it's large, it's inline. So that's just pretty much it in our code. So we'll go back to our header and we uncomment this. You can see that's appeared. So our application is looking really, really neat, really straight to the point, nothing really fancy, just basically styling. That's just literally it. So now that this is done, I want us to work on some other aspects. Let's go back to our index. So in our index, in our main page, we have like ORIMO things and the rest. So we're going to do our slider main page. We're going to create a new folder in our components. Let's just close all this and cancel all of this. So now we can actually work on our navbar, our element tree that we had issue with before because we hadn't worked on our sidebar menu item, just this sidebar menu item. So we're going to work on that now. So in our element 3, you're just going to come here, space, and paste this. Okay. So nothing fancy here. We're just using the sidebar menu item, but we're giving it a little bit of styling. We're using the drop down from DasiyUI to do this. So we're using the drop down to do this. As you can see, we have all the sidebar menu item with their icons, gaming, sporting goods, other categories. That's just basically what we're using. So here, same menu icon is not defined. Let's go back up. Menu icon. Okay. Okay. Sidebar items not defined. All right. So you can see it doesn't appear here, but once we reduce this and you click, you can see it's behind our. Why is it behind? It's behind our this thing carousel. It shouldn't be behind our carousel. So I've increased the Z index to a higher one. Trying to find out why. Okay, so we're currently having the issue of this being under here. So what we're going to do, we're going to come to our element 3. We're going to come to style. We're going to style it and give it Z index. Yeah. Z index 100. So when we come back, just reload. Okay, so when we click now, you can see it appears on top of this. So as you can see now, it's working perfectly. But I went to click into the category, and that's why this happened. Okay, so this is looking okay. Let's just push it forward like this. Okay, so now we go to our recommended, our component section. We're going to create a new folder called recommended. And in our recommended, we're going to create some code. All right. So the first one we're going to do, we're going to create the first category section. We're going to say recommended.js. And here we're just going to fix this. So here we're just import CV. We don't need to even import React. We're just saying padding at the top 5. We're using carousel with some images, phone and tablets, images up to 30% off, televisions, groceries, refrigerators, electronics. So then we come back to our pages, we come back to index, and after this header, we want to say recommended. Yes. Then we want to see it below this our header section. Boom. So you can see just a carousel. Really, really nice. Now, the next thing we want to do, we want to also create another recommended for you. So create another, we could say recommended for you .js. And this recommended for you is simply just gaming header. Okay, so we want to create a slider basically. So we're going to create a new folder in our component, and we're going to name it main page component. So we're going to create a file and say slider.js. And in this slider.js, we're going to have a carousel again. We'll just say import recommend header. So this recommend header is like a small component that we're using in our recommended page here. So we're going to create this. We're going to say recommend recom header.js. So in our recom header.js, I'm going to create this. This is just what we're using. We're just styling something so we can edit the title and the color whenever we use it. So when we come back to our main page and we're using it here, we're saying the title should be official store and the color should be BG Lime 300. So we're just creating another slider, as you can see. All right, so we come back to our main page, our index, and we say slider main page. Come back to our code. And we reload. Okay, saying import recom is not okay. So what we're going to come back here is complain about the imports. So let's come here and just control this. No, control this and import it again. So let this load. And we can see we get our official store. Really, really clean, really, really nice. Now we need to connect Firebase to this application. Oh, and we also need to work on our login and sign up. So we need to install a lot of things right now. So we're going to control C this. We're going to install npm install next. I don't even know how to type that NextAuth. So let's just go to the NextAuth website. Okay, we're going to go. This is the actual Jumia website, so you can see how similar it is to ours. So we're going to say NextAuth. So NextAuth and get started. So this is just what we need. We'll copy this, come back to our code and paste. So we're currently installing NextAuth. Now we want to use the Google provider. So to use that, we need to go to Google Cloud. And before you do that, you also need to go to Firebase. I explained to you guys, I have a video on how to connect Firebase to your application. I'm going to link it in the description below, but we're also going to go through the process right now. So when you are creating starting with Firebase, all you have to just go to firebase.com. What's wrong with this thing? This is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so when you go to Firebase, you just go to your console. And in your console, all you have to do is to add a project, create a new project, I've already done mine, which is this. I won't be going through this process. I will put a link in the video of how you can start one, but it's very simple. Just to add a project, give it a name, and then you just get to this place that we just got to. So once you've done that, you need to go to project settings and connect your application to it. It will tell you to install Firebase. You say connect to a web app, or you can just see your add app here, and you just connect it to a web app, and it will ask you for a nickname of the application, which I just did here, Jumia V1, and it will tell you to install Firebase, which I'm going to copy now and come here and install Firebase. So when you're installing that, it's going to give you a write-up like this, which you're going to use to create a Firebase file, which we're going to do now. So I'm going to come back here with all this, and I'm going to create a new file here, new file, and I'm going to say firebase.js. In that firebase.js is very simple. I'm going to just copy all of this and paste it here for you. Okay, so you can see I've copied all of this. This is our keys. You're going to get those keys here. See your keys, see my keys here. You can see them. So I have created this is not here. I've created a .env.local file. You should do that as well. And you can see me here using it. Any .env environmental variable you're going to use in NextJS, you need to start with next public. So you can see I've done that for my next public Firebase API key, which is this API key they give you here. Next public Firebase auth domain, which is this auth domain that you get here, and the rest. I've done all of that for all of this. And then in my Firebase application, I've now linked them, those .env variables that we have, environmental variables we have here. I've linked them to this file by just using API key. I've just changed it to process.env. Then the key that you use. Like here we have next public Firebase API key. It is this next public Firebase API key that we have here. So you can see it's very simple. It's good that you create a environmental variable file for your application. It makes it easier and it makes your application more secure. So now that we've done the linking to Firebase, I'm not going to be doing much here until we are creating the, because we're just going to be reading data from here. When we're creating the admin page, it will show how the process of us imputing data into this application. As you can see, this is our Firebase Firestore. I don't know if we're going to be able to see our collection because it showed that I reached my quota. I don't think we're going to be able to see anything. Okay, we need to see. So these are all our products. These are all our orders. So now that we've shown you how to connect the Firebase to the application, we also need to connect the Google Cloud Console to our application so that we can log into Google and use Google to log into our application with Next. So now that is currently going to that section, just go to console. Very, very simple. Now when you're going to console, you want to go to click this. And you want to go to API and services, credentials. Now, when you come to credentials, when you create a Firebase application, like you say, I named mine Jumia version 1. When you come to your Google Cloud, if you're using the same email you used to create the Firebase application here, you can just click on this and select all your projects and just click, you see what you created on Firebase. So you're just going to click that, Jumia V1. So now that you've clicked that, I want you to come to your credentials. You can see your OAuth 2.0 client ID. You come to edit. So when you come to edit, we're going to have this additional information here, your client ID, this client ID, and this client secrets. You're going to want to copy that into your environmental variables files here. So I'm just going to do that. I'll paste my own. You can say I need my Google Client ID and I need my Google Client secret. See two of them here. So after you've done that, you want to come here and add the URL of what you're currently using. For instance, I'm using localhost 3000. So you want to add that here. Copy. You want to add that here. 3000. So you can see it has been added. And then your authorized redirect URI, we're going to get that now. So let's just come back to our code. This is tough, man. Tough. Why do we have this error? Okay, we've not even started our applications. So maybe that's why we have this error. So here we're getting a timeout. What was the last thing we tried to install Firebase? My network is so bad. So please, if you want to support me, just click on the link in the description on Buy Me Coffee so I can help support me so I can get a better internet. So my setup can look a bit much better. Thank you. So we're going to try to install this now. And you can see we've set up all our environmental variables, so we don't need to be here again. We've set up our Firebase. We don't need to be here again. Cancel that. We've done our slider. We don't need to be here. We've done our recom header. Recommended. We've done this recommended. We've done this Tailwindcss. We've done our element 3, so we don't need that again. So now that we've done most of that, we want to work on our footer so we can have a better footer. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a new folder in our components and say footer. And in that footer, we're just going to create a file called index.js. It's going to be this. So this is just what we're going to use. I just basically copied. If you come here, you're going to see footer here. I just basically copied this code that was here. So you can see, you can just take the JSX and copy it, and I copied and pasted it here. So but I use a data theme of dark to make mine darker, which you can do by coming up. You can come to themes, and with the themes you can get different like color matching stuff. So what I did was that I just came, you can see DasiyUI themes in your Tailwind config file. So just go to your Tailwind config file, and you can literally just, after a comma, place this. So you can see DasiyUI themes light dark cupcake. So we're going to connect this footer, then I'm going to show you how that's going to look like. So here we're just going to say footer. So when we come back to our application, I'm going to start running npm run dev. Okay, so we refresh. So while this is loading, we're going to create a new folder here, which is going to be our lib, which is going to, okay, no, not here, which is going to control all our functions that we're going to use to fetch our data. So in our lib, we're going to create a file, fetchData.js. We're going to create another file, help.js, and we're going to create another file again, which is upload our order.js. So our code is still trying to start. It hasn't kicked off yet. All right, so it has loaded successfully. So you can see our footer here. This is currently dark theme. Like I said, if you come to the component and you come to footer index, we have a theme called Cupcake. So I'm going to use that. Cupcake. So you can see can just basically change the theme to anyone you want. You can see we have different themes here, so you can just paste this and then be able to test out all the themes. It's really cool. You should check it out. So now that we've done with basically this, we want to sign up. We want to create our sign up page. So we want to first of all, go to our pages and we'll go to our API. And in our API, we'll create a new folder and call it auth. And then in our auth, we're going to create a new file and curly brackets in square brackets .NextAuth, and we'll see .js. Okay, we're going to paste that here. Now, this is just taking NextAuth and Google provider. We're going to take our Google client ID and our Google secrets to help log us in. And it's going to direct us to, for our sign-in function, it's going to direct us to auth sign-in. And then our callbacks, which we're going to get back from Google, we're going to get a session token user, and the session username, we want it to be, want to split up the names and to lowercase so that we can have, like, if your name is, if your username is Jeremy Smart, it will separate it to Jeremy space then Smart. That's what this is just doing. So we're going to also go to back to our pages, and as you can see here, we're directly signing to auth/signing. So in our pages, we need to create a file folder, say auth. So you can see auth/signing. So we're going to create sign-in.js. Okay. So here, we're simply just going to import get providers and sign in from NextAuth, and we're just going to say welcome to Jumia, and we're going to use this and map all our providers. If we had more than one provider, like if we had Google and GitHub, it will show 2 different providers here, and we're going to use ServerSideProps to get our providers and then pass it on as props into this page, which we're now going to map throughout here. So now, if we want to sign up or sign in, we can go back to our Navbar so that we can activate that. Navbar, our index. So over here, we want to import sign-in and use session. So we're going to import that. Okay. So we're using session to sign in and sign out. So we want this input button that we have here. So here, we're going to unclick sign in. Okay. Unclick sign in. So I want to come back here. I want this to refresh. Sign is not defined. All right. So we're going to click on this button. Click on this button. Okay, so as you can see, it's showing weapon. What's wrong with our image? Let's go back to our code, signing. And our code is 1.png. So we don't have that in our public directory. So let's close this. This is public. And let's copy this here. Which is this. So come back. This should show now. Okay, wonderful. So when you click sign in with Google, this is already working. I use my Instagram listen to run this. So this is already working, but when you get here, it won't work. It will show you redirect URI. And when you click see more under here, it will show you this redirect callback. So me, I'm already using this here, and I'm using this one here. So when you take that URI, it will show you redirect URI, which you will copy and you paste here. Okay. So I'm going to maybe show a clip of that, of what the error it will show you right now. So you take that and you put it here, and then you save. So once you save, it will work effectively. Sometimes it may not work instantly. It may take some time before it kicks in. Google is not perfect. So it's just like that sometimes. So when we click this now, we should be redirected back to the home page of our site, and we should be logged in to our site. So right now, we're not showing any sign of logging in. So we're going to go back to our Navbar, and we're going to, because we've already imported through session here, we're just going to come down here, and we're going to see constant data session equals to used session. Okay, so with this, we get our session information, and we want to come down to this span here. So if we're logged, we don't want to show this login button anymore, obviously. So let's say session. And then if we are not logged in, so we're going to take this. Okay. So now we want to show something if we are logged in. So we're going to copy this, paste this here. Just we're going to import it. Not even working. We're just trying to import some icons. We'll just copy that and paste that here. So we're importing these two icons from MaterialUI. And then we're saving. Let's change, it's not allowing us to save. Wait. JSON must have one parent element. Okay, so here we want to do empty braces and take this to the bottom and save. You can see we just change the person's name and hi. So when we come back here, we are logged in, so we should just see what we need to see. So saying your session must be wrapped in a session provider. Okay, so that's what I mean mistake. So we need to go to our app. I want to spell it app. And over here, we're going to say session provider. Wrap everything with it. And then here, after our component, we're going to say page props session dot page props. This is all in the NextAuth documentation. If you would like, try and read it. Session equals to session. Okay. So now we go back and refresh. Okay, so you can see, boom, we are logged in, looking nice and neat. Very, very nice. So I'm happy with this. So now we need to also work on our categories, because we have different categories here. We want, if we click, we should go to supermarket category. So we're going to work on the category page now. So we close all of this, and we just close this. We really need to close all of that before we start working on our categories page. Okay, so now in our pages, we create a folder. I'm going to say category. I'm going to create another file. I'm going to say category.js. Okay, so over here now, we're going to say RFC. All right, now we're just going to paste this. Okay, so over here, we are using context to get the params that we're going to get, and then we're fetching products by category. So before we start on this category page, we're going to be fetching a lot of data. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our lib. We're going to go to our lib. We're going to go to fetch data. Okay. So we have different ways of fetching data here, which I'm going to explain to you one by one. So I'm going to cancel this. The reason is I don't want Firebase to increase my billing and shut this thing down, because that's what they do if you exceed their quota in a day. If you're currently on like the basic plan, so I'm currently on the basic plan. So as you can see, I just have little reads left. So not very much. I can't upgrade. So please buy me coffee so I'll be able to upgrade. All right, so let's get started. We first import DB from Firebase, which is this DB here, get Firestore. And once we import it, we're going to import collection query where get docs from Firebase as well. And we're going to create a general products ref, as the collection was always going to be fetching from the product. So here we say fetch products. It's an async function because we're going to await inside. So we're going to say query product ref await get docs. So we're getting all the documents in products, the DB products, and we are mapping them through so we can get the ID inside the array of that of each product. We will need the array the ID. So when you fetch the data, it doesn't come with the ID. You have to do it like this, map it like this way to get the ID. So we're now returning the result. So this is returning all the products on our Firestore database. So here we see fetch products by category. We're using a query where it says where we're querying, we're saying products where the database products. We're querying, we're saying where categories equal to category. We're going to be passing the category here. So what we're going to be using, if it's supermarket, fetch all the products that their categories is equal to supermarket, get the docs, and then map them through like this, how we can get the ID and return the results. Here is fetch products by brand, the same logic. We are checking where brand equals to the brand that we pass through this function. So if you're using this function, you're going to pass the brand treat. If you don't pass a brand treat, this will not run properly. So when you pass a brand treat, you check if the brand is equal to the brand that you passed. To get the documents, map it out like this so we can get the ID and we can return the result. And also here, this is going to be used when we are fetching individual product pages. So fetch products by ID is an async function. We're going to pass the ID and it's going to fetch the data of just that product. So we're first going to fetch all the products and then we're going to filter it and look for the products through the product ID, and we're going to return the first thing in that array we get, which is obviously just that product. So that's just what these functions are doing. They help us to fetch data. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our categories. Like I said, we're currently trying to be careful how we maximize this quota. So we're just going to try and be careful. Okay, so in our pages, our category here, we are currently fetching products by category because when we click on supermarket or any of these things here, it is going to link us to, let me show you. Oh, components, header, sidebar. Okay, so this sidebar menu is currently linking us to category and the link, which what we're passing through here is supermarket. Like you can see this left side. We're passing it through home office, health, beauty, supermarket. These are all categories. They're all categories. which will be showing more in our when we're creating the admin section of this Jumia clone. So we're going to go to this category of this. So we're going to go to /category/ the supermarket or whatever category we have. We're going to take that context, that params, if it's supermarket, if it's gaming, if it's home office, and we're going to fetch products by category with it. We're going to fetch that category with it because we get the params here, we're going to fetch it. And then we're going to pass the props through products. This is get server-side props. It will run before this page is loaded for the viewer to see. So we're going to pass it through with props here, and then we're going to pass that through into category details, which is going to display that for us. So in our component, we're going to create a new folder to help us display that. So we're going to create a new folder here, and we're going to call it category and create, so let's see, category details.js. Okay, so here's pretty like straightforward. We're just going to paste this. Here we are reporting error. Okay, so error from, so we haven't created the error page, so let's try and do that first. We name this error.js. Okay, so this is a function error, and this error is just, we're going to use it in case we're unable to fetch data for the page. It will just show, sorry, page unavailable and then home. I think we can even use that if we want. Let's go to our .env. Let us highlight this so we don't end up maximizing our quota today, because I want to try and get this video done today. So npm run dev. Done this. Okay, so this is just an error page. It's just going to show error in case we're not unable to fetch any result for the user. So if we come back to our category, if the product.length that is being passed to this page is equal to 0, then it will just return that error page. Here we're just showing an image. I will show you that very, very soon. Here we're just running an image, and we're using our recom header to show the category we're currently in. We're changing the color to be blue, and here we're mapping through each of the products, which is very, very straightforward. In your product, we're just mapping through them with their image, their link, and the naira, like how much the product costs. Hold on, let this page load. Okay, so if we see supermarketing, we click on it. What is saying? Okay. Let's do this. Okay, so it should be okay now. It will have error with our helper function. So you can see the error page is currently showing sorry page unavailable if we are not able to fetch any product. Now let us just cancel this, and then let's go and unhighlight this so you can see. So we want this to load so we can see how the page displays with products, so I can explain how we are echoing those products. So this is currently getting started, but I think it has run successfully, so it should work now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it's complete about our Naira format. Let me quickly explain that. So in our help here, we're going to have this. So this is a function. This is a function that helps us format the currency style to Naira. It helps if you have a number like this, let's say 83,000. It will convert this 83,000 into, it will take this NGN, you will put it in front, and it will say 8300 to convert it to like this. So we don't want the customers to see something like this. We want them to see something like this, which will be more easily understandable to them. That's what Engineer is doing. And in here, we're currently using it here. Say engineer.format the product price, which we're getting as a number, just like a number. This will help us format it so we can understand it better. So let's run the code again. We're just trying to avoid like using our quota. So we'll just have to like manage it little by little, because I don't have a dollar card to activate it properly. I don't know how this style of teaching is going. If you guys like it, let me know in the comment section. I think it's much easier rather than typing and typing and typing. Just explaining the code and how it works. It's much easier. So that's just what I think though. So we're going to try to reload this. Our network so slow. Okay, so our site has peaked. So as you can see, let's come back here and end this so we don't have any issue later on. Come back to our and highlight all of this. Okay, so over here, like I said, this is just an image which we displayed here. Just an image I say constant. So our recom header is this. So it picks out one of the products and gets the categories and shows it as supermarkets. Now, over here, we have grid, which enables us to do this. Let me show you. You can see, in small size is 2 grid, in medium size is 3, and in large size it's 5. So over here, we're just displaying the image with a specific height, a link that takes us to the product / product ID. So it enables us to go to the specific product of each of these things here. And the product of title, which we're using a line clamp 2, which we haven't installed. Yeah, we haven't installed that. But I think it's working though. Okay. So how are we doing this line clamp? This line clamp enables us to not allow this text here be longer than 2 lines, to be more than 2 lines. So it's a package that we installed. Let me show you the line clamp. Very simple package. It helps to replicate our div. Pkn. Okay, so in your React application, you can just take this code here and copy it, and then install it in your code. So you just install it in your code and it's good to go. Okay. So with this, we're going to like make sure that this title here doesn't go more than 2 lines, because we have some products that have very, very long titles and we want to make sure that it just stops at 2 lines and doesn't mess up our code. That's just the reason for this. So over here, so now format title. So that's just all we're doing. So now if a user clicks on this, it will be taken to the product's ID. So as you can see, the product with the ID. So right now, we don't have this page set up, so we're going to do that now. So we're going to go to pages. So we're going to create a new folder called product, and a new file under it, the same way we did the categories. Cheers. So let's say products ID. Okay, so over here, this time we're not using get ServerSideProps, we're using get static props, and we're using get static parts. Now, let me explain. We're importing the fetch product by ID and fetch products from our fetch data. The first thing we're doing, we're getting static props with context. We're taking these params here. This is the ID. So this is context.params.product ID, which is product ID, because the reason is this product ID is because of this, what we gave it here. So it's saying constant product ID equals to context.params.product ID. If you console login, we don't need to console log that. And we're fetching the product by ID, because in our lib folder, fetch product by ID helps us get all the information of our product just with its ID. So once we get that, we are returning it as a prop, which we are getting here. And you can see we're detailing as selected product. And we're sending this prop to product details to be able to display it to everyone, to the user. Then get static parts allows us to preload some of these parts. You can do it in a way where you can preload some certain products that you know customers like to view, that will view the most. For instance, PS5 comes out, you want that PS5 product page to be loaded quicker than other pages, because you know a lot of people are going to be clicking on it. So you can do that with get static parts, and that's what we're doing. We're fetching out the product, and we're preloading the pages with this. And then this is our parts. We've created the parts here with params product ID, and we're returning the parts, and the fallback is true. So our product detail, we need to create a component for that. So I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to say product details. And we create another file, and inside that file, we're going to create different things. So in this product details file, we're going to create breadcrumbs.js. We're also going to create the delivery.js. We're also going to create index.js. And we're going to create more details.js. So in our index page, which is our main page, let's work on our smaller pages first. For example, the breadcrumbs. This is just for the top of the page. What we're going to, okay, after we've worked on this, we're going to display so I can explain it further. So this is just at the top of the page to show the home and the category, the brand, and the title. Let's go to our index. Okay, so over here, we're just importing the breadcrumbs, which we're showing at the top of the page. We're just having all these imports with the Naira imports so that we can show that better, we're going to delete this cart because we've not yet installed our carts.
Let's get this and this.
So once we get our details that has been passed through here, so product detail, the details has been passed through here of the product. We just easily display that. So as you can see details, we're just going to say, as you can see here, we're displaying the image of the products with details.url. Or maybe I should just load this before I continue. Once I load all this, I'll now continue. How about that? Okay. So let's run this again. I'm quickly going to unhighlight this. This. Okay. So we're going to npm run dev. So we just want this to load, then we'll now be able to explain how it is working. If we come back here, index. So it's currently loading now.
Yes. That's 4.
All right. So let's quickly end this. Okay. So now we can see here, this is the breadcrumbs. Let's go back. Top. So as you can see here, breadcrumbs, we're passing in category, brand, title, details of categories, brand, and title. So in our breadcrumbs, we have them all here. This is just a DasiyUI component that we're using, which shows us this category, brand, and the title. So after that, we'll go back to our index. Over here, we're just displaying the image, which is this. And we're just showing share this product with Facebook and Twitter icons, which are just this. Then here we're just displaying the title, the brand, and the price. Okay, let's go back here. So you can see we're displaying the brand, the title, the brand, similar product from the same brand. We're formatting the product's price. And in the details of unit, we're checking if it's less, if it's 0, we're showing out of stock. If it's greater than 0, we're showing it in stock. And then here, we're checking the delivery price. If there's any delivery price, we're showing. If there's no delivery price, that means it's a free delivery. If there's delivery price, we're showing the delivery price, which is also formatted to Naira here. And then here, we're just showing add to cart button. So you can see this button here, add to cart. Then we're showing the product details, product specification, product features, which we are all using more details to do. So in our more details, we're just showing the product detail, specifications and features which are being passed through as props from here. See, very simple. And the delivery, we're just showing this little element, and that's just pretty much it with our products page. So now we're going to install React Recoil, which is going to handle our state of the cart, and we'll soon be done. Okay, so now that we've got our product, we need to install React Recoil. So let's just come here, see React Recoil. This is a states management library for React, so I like to use my NextJS code. So you just say get started. It's very, very simple, and just install. So paste. So once you've done it, you need to wrap your entire app with it. So just copy this, and then you need to go to your app.js _app.js. Okay, so once you're here, you're just going to paste that import that you just got. Okay, and you're going to come to your session provider here and put Recoil. Don't forget that Recoil. It's okay. I'm going to take this. Press it here. Okay, so we're done with that. See, very, very simple. Then we're going to come to Jumia clone here and create a new folder and call it Atom. And create a new file, and we say cat atom. Very simple. So here, this is our default state, which is going to be an array, and the key is going to be cat state. You can see we call it cat state here. So this is going to be our default. So now we're going to go back to our index. Okay, so over here we get the cat. The cat, it works just like use state. You're going to import cat state from this your cat atom here, and you're going to import use recoil state. So you're going to say constant cat set cat equals to use recoil state with the cat state. This is the current state, and this is used to set the state. So now we're going to be adding things to our cart. How are we going to do that? We're going to say constant add to cart is a function. Constant new cart equals to, we're going to take the previous cart and put it in an array, and take the details of this current products that we have and put it in that array as well. This is using array destructuring to list everything in the cart here, and we'll add this current product that we have on this page to the cart, and we're going to set that cart with this new cart, which is now going to make this the new cart as this. So it's just very simple. It's just very simple. And that's going to take effect when people click on our add to cart button. So that's just pretty much it. So just run this code and see how it works. And before we even see how it works, we also need to go back to our navbar, our shopping cart, which is this, no, our index. So we'll go back to our navbar, so we can display what we have in our cart. So we're just going to come here, import. So we're going to import use recoil state and import cart state, and then we're going to just use that. So we'll come back here and we're going to paste that. So you can see we're getting the cart set cart. We're just going to use recoil state just to get this cart. Then for our shopping carts here, we're going to say items equals to cart dot length, which is the total items that is in the cart. Like if you have 10 items or you have 20. So over here, we get that in with items. And here, we're just going to say items. Very, very simple. So now, let's run dev to see how it works. Very, very simple. It's going to work perfectly. Let's just close all of this.
I hope we make sure that okay. Let's refresh this.
The internet is so slow, bro. So slow. Let's refresh this again. Okay, so see our cards here on the empty. We add to cards while we're not seeing anything. We're not seeing anything. While we're not seeing anything. All the products we're seeing are products that are imputed in our database already, which we're going to do when we do our why is this not working? Let's just sign up. Sign Google. Downloads. Gaming. Click on this. At cards, we're not seeing anything. So let's see. Where are we getting it? We get Adam King Cat This is a first error in production. Essentially, no production. Hold on. Okay, no. Let's go back to our cards. Seem to be okay here. Yeah. Yeah. So what is the matter? Even if we're not having anything in our cart, our navbar is supposed to show something. No, shopping carts, items, cart.length, items. Okay, what could be wrong in our code? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Cart states. We're importing it from the right place, aren't we? Yeah. Atom, cat atom. Doesn't seem like there's any issue here. Uh, why is it? It seems like sometimes code changes when you rewrite it. Like when I was setting this up, it wasn't having this issue. So why is it having this issue now? Trying to see Recoil root. What we're using. Let's go to our cart. Just put up detailed index. And click add to cards. We should really return error here. So what could be the issue that we're having? Or in our product ID, don't forget to send the product details. We get the product details. So why won't our code work? Why won't it add to the cart? Specs array. Category details. Let us see. Let's go to our index in our product details, and let us console log. Just see Firebase has given us more leeway. Please, Firebase, please, but no, they didn't give us more leeway. Okay, so console.log cart is here. So we should be able to check what issue we're having and why this isn't adding to our car. Can't change fish out of the areas. Expectation for a duplicate atom. Which page is this? Let's go to our Navbar. It's okay. So we've seen if once we load the application, our error went away. So as you can see, it's currently adding to our carts and everything is looking okay. So let's end the application and let's work on our carts. Okay, so if once we go to our pages, we can see once we close all of this, let's close all of this. Because we're done with our product details, we're done with adding to the carts. So once we go to our pages, get a new file, say carts, and create a new index.js. So over here, we're just going to showcase our cart items. That's just what we're going to do. So we're going to go to our components, the new folder, and call it cart items, and create a new file and call it cart items. So this page, a lot of logic is going on this page. Rename. This is one of our heavy duty pages that a lot of code is going into. Okay, so now that we've done with most of our application, let's go ahead and kick off our carts. So now we have, let me just run this again. npm run dev. I had to wait like a whole day just to make sure my Firebase quota wouldn't be exceeded, so I could like continue this video. All right, so here we have our carts. It's showing 0s. We have to delete that s. Our products are not showing. Let's go to supermarket. Okay, so let's click on the products. Let's add it to cart. Add it to cart again. Go back to supermarket. Pick another item and add it to cart. Let's click our cart. So it's showing us error render method of cart. Okay, so let's go back. Let's Control C this so that we don't end up using all our quota. And for our carts, we're showing displaying cart items, just that. So we'll go back to here. So cart items, we're going to say RFC. Cart items. Okay, perfect. So first of all, we need to get the carts from our React Recoil. So we're going to import that. We're just going to say import use Recoil state from Recoil. Then we're also going to import our cart states from atom atom. Okay, so now that we've imported that, we're going to get that. We're going to say constant cart set cart equals to use Recoil state cart state. Okay, now we've gotten this. Also, we also need to get our use session. So we're going to import that. Come on. Allow me to import easily. Our use session from NextAuth. Yes. Okay, so we've imported this. Let us constant data session equals to use session. So now that we get our carts, we need to display that information so we can see that information. So we're going to come here. Our first div, we're going to style it, class name, md flex, md space x5. Okay, so I promised I was not going to do so much styling in this code, so I'm not. Okay, so this is going to be our cart. We're going to say cart. How many items do we have in the cart? We just say cart.length. Okay, perfect. All right, we have our cart.length. I want us to be able to see this as we're coding this page, because this page is a very delicate page. So what we're going to do, we're just going to run this, and then we're going to copy that, say console.log cart. We're just going to copy our cart and then hard code it here so that we can like be able to work with that, because we don't want to be working while changing and reading data from the database. If not, our code is going to be exceeded. So right now we don't have anything in our cart. Let's go back to our main page. Let's go to health and beauty. Add this. Let's cart, go back. go to gaming, pick an item, add to cart, go back, pick another item, add it to cart. Let's go to our cart. Cart, we have 3 items. So we're going to inspect. So on our console, we have the array, which is here. So we're going to just copy this. We're going to copy the object. And we're going to stop this. Then over here, we're going to say constant cart equals to this. So we're going to use this data for the meantime just to show you how it's working. You don't have to copy this, but maybe if you can, it's when as you're doing your code. We're just going to use this to be able to check and confirm what we're doing. So we're going to go to our Firebase to make sure that our .env, to make sure that nothing is being used to call an instance. Then we're going to run this again. And we're only going to focus on this cart page for now and see how we can like displaying items. So now that we're in this cart page, so yeah, we have our cart and our length of the cart. So let's go back here. So as you can see, page has loaded for us. Is this thing done? It should be done now. Actually done now. Okay. Okay, so we have our cards hard coded, so we're just going to use that to like work on the data here. So we have our cards. This should be in a span. I'm going to take this up, save it. Then we're going to come here and we're going to say div class name divider. Let's look at that. Just give us a little divider there. Okay. Then after that, we're going to say if cart.length is equal to 0. That means if there's nothing in the cart, we want to show something to the user. And we say div class name copy alias. I'm going to say cart is empty. Okay. So now we're going to map to our cart. Cart.map. Going to say item. We're going to say we're going to use item. We're going to create that just in a bit. We're going to pass in a key. We're going to pass in a key, which is equals to item.id. Now, because we have 2 products which will have the same ID in a cart, we need to, this will create an error because some products will be the same. So we need to add something to just make sure it's in the ID, the key is never the same. So we're just going to say match random. Just give us a random number. Okay, then we're going to say the item equals to the item. And we're going to leave this for now. Items, so close this. All right, so now we're going to come to here. It should not show anything. Okay. I just fill the span div. Okay, leave that. This items here we've not created, so we're going to create it now. Okay, so we have our items now. For our items, we're just going to say import. Let me just copy this, make it easier. We're just going to copy our fetch product by ID. This is not really needed again, since we're not fetching, we're passing the product through. Button delete. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this either. As I was coding project, I had different ideas to how I wanted to run it. So over here, we're going to collect our item. Then we're just going to display this to the user. Okay, just get this. I'm just explaining how this is working. So we're just doing a bit of styling here. The image we're passing in the item.url and the item.title, which is what we're getting from here. See, we're getting the URL and we're getting the title. So that's just what we're passing through here. We're using the title as the alt. Here we just created a div. We're using a link to link us back to the products where you can see the individual products with the ID of the item. Here we're just checking if the unit is matching into 0, tell the user out of stock. If not, it's in stock. Here we're just showing the delivery price, which we're using the Naira format method to format the delivery price for us. And here we're going to create that. So here we're creating an icon, delete icon, which is remove. So let's go back and see how this is looking. Okay. Let's go to our cart items. And these items, we need to import it. Is it giving us hydration error? What could be the hydration error? 1, 2, span, div. Don't have any hydration error here. Let's delete this. Let's delete this and see if it will make our hydration error go away. Then we'll know where the error is coming from. It's giving us hydration error. Okay, so let's delete this. Let's delete this span. I'll see if we still get hydration error. Okay, what's the matter here? Why we get this hydration error? Control C. Let's restart our server. Hydration errors are common when you're using NextJS, but it can be really frustrating and annoying to solve. So we're going to see how we can resolve this issue. Okay. Okay, no error right now. So let's go back to coding and make sure we don't get that error again. So we're just going to put cat length. We're not going to use the span. Make sure we don't get that error. Let's check our code. Why is it giving us this hydration error? What could be the problem in this code? What is the corresponding div he's talking about? Okay, I can see the issue is from here, I think. Okay, so the issue was from here. So we've solved the issue, so we should be okay now. Let's check that. All right, so we're okay now. So let's go ahead and copy back what we deleted. Let's just delete this and put it back. Let's delete this because we've not yet explained that. Yes. Okay, so see, our items are being listed out. Very, very clean. Here is in bold, as you can see in our items. Delete icon, remove, and the format in error. Okay, so now that our items are being listed, as you can see here, this button is not working. How do we remove items from this cart when we don't want them here again? So we have to create a function. We'll go to the top of our cart items. So we're going to create a function called constant remove item. It's going to equal to index, because we're going to use the index of the, we're going to use this function for each item. So when you click on remove from this item here, it is passing the index of that product, and we can pass that into the remove item function and then delete it. So, okay, let's go to here. So every time we use map, we can return two things. We can return an instance of like a parts. We can map through an array, and each individual item we can also return the index, so we can know where each item we're mapping, what's the index of that item. So we're going to pass the index here as index, and we're also going to pass the function remove item equals to remove item. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go back to our items. Here we're going to say index remove item. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go to our delete button, which we have here. I'm going to say click. We want to remove item in the index. Okay, so that's good. So that's good here. So we need to go back to finishing up the function. So in the function here, we're going to say constant new cart equals to array destructuring cart. We're going to say new cart dot splice index 1. So this will go to the products index, and then it will delete 1 after that. So it will just delete the index, the product. I'm going to set the cart to this new cart. Okay, so let's check how that works. So set cart currently is not defined, so let's just highlight this. When we run the correct instance of this we will now be able to test out this remove button, but for now we can't test it out. So let's go back here. Okay, after this div, we're going to post something here. Okay, so this is where we stop. So this is where we begin. Here we're just saying our cart summary, the subtotal, the delivery sum. The delivery sum now is a value we have to calculate every time we create instance of this component. So we're going to need use effect for that. So I'm going to go to top. I'm going to say use effect. So we want to calculate the total delivery sum of the of our cart. So we're going to say var sum equals to 0. We're going to say we're going to loop through all. We'll say variable 1 if 1 is less than cart.length. Sum equals to parse, because the product delivery price is, it may be in a string. We don't really know the format. We want to make sure we pass it as an integer so we can be able to calculate on it. If we don't pass it, if we don't run it like this, if it comes in as a string, we will not be able to calculate on it, because sometimes it may turn to a string in the Firebase, and we may like fetch it from Firebase database as a string. So we want to make sure we pass it into an integer. We're going to say cut I product price. And here we're going to say set cart sum. So we haven't created that yet. Let's do that. Let's say constant cart sum. Set cart sum equals to use state. Okay. So here we can now set cart sum. What's this sum? So also we're going to do the same thing, but this time around for our delivery sum. I'm just going to paste that here. So here we're doing the same thing, but this time around we are summing everything in our delivery price, so we can have the total delivery price. And we also need to constant delivery price set delivery price. Okay. We're currently using delivery sum, so we change this to delivery sum. Okay, so now that we've done that, go back here. Okay, so delivery fee, delivery sum, if there's nothing delivery sum, free, delivery fee will be free. But if there's something delivery sum, delivery fee will be the delivery sum formatted into Naira. Then here we have our our username. So we are using the session username that we get from when the user logs in with their Gmail account. Here we're asking them to input their phone number, and then we're setting form data. So we need to create form data here. The constant form data set form data equals to use state. I'm going to say phone number nothing for now. And we're going to say delete address nothing for now. Okay. So now that we have that set, here we're saying on change to set our phone number to, in case the user changes anything, to set it to be the phone number. Here we have a text area which we are collecting our delivery address. And then here we have a button. So we click on submit to submit the data. So we're going to work on our submit form now. Okay. So let's come here and work on it. So we're saying constant submit form. This form is going to submit the card, the name of the user, the phone number, the delivery address of the user, the total amount, and the delivery amount. So here we'll say submit form. It's an async function because we're going to upload the data to Firebase. So I'm saying event.prevent default. So we're going to say if, we're going to validate it a bit. We're going to say if form data dot phone number is empty, or form data delivery address is empty. When you say alert, please fill in your phone number and delivery address, and then we're going to return. So here, we're going to leave this as this. We're now going to go and work on the submission order function. So here we have the upload order. So let's work on this. It's a very simple function. All we're doing is just taking the database collection add doc. We're taking the phone number, delivery address, name, the cart sum, the delivery sum, and the cart itself, and we are uploading that collection to our orders. Let's go to our Firebase so we can see how that is set up. It's very slow. Internet is very slow. It's not something new. So Jumia. So you want to go to your Firestore database. We haven't come here yet because we're going to come here when we're working on the admin version. Okay, so you can see here, we started the collection orders. And in this collection, once you start the collection, you don't need to do anything again. We'll just be inputting items into the collection. So you can see here, let's go back. You can see here we have our carts, which has these two data in it: the cart sum, delivery address, delivery sum, name, and phone number. So that's also what we're doing here, and we're adding the doc. We're using a try catch to catch any error, and we're returning false if there's an error, or returning true if everything was successful. So let's go back to our cart items. So once we do this here, we're now going to say constant result equals await upload order, import that, and we're going to pass through it from data dot phone number, from data dot delivery address. We're going to session dot user dot name. I'm also going to say cart sum. Or I'm not going to say delivery sum. I'm going to pass in the carts. Okay, so here now we want to run a loading. Let's go back to our button. So when we click on submit, that function is going to run. Any submit from teams. Submit. How do we submit? Isn't the names correct? Am I missing something? Okay. Submit form. Now in our class name here, we are doing something. I was saying if there's no session, disable the button. Else, if there's a session, leave it alone. Then we're giving it some styling. And then here we're saying if loading is true, let's see the loading. If it's not, let's not say any loading. So that loading, we need to create the state for it. So we're going to just create the state first. Let's say constant loading. Set loading use states. Okay. So when the function starts, we want to set okay, when the validation is done, we want to set loading to true. Then after this await, we made a mistake here. After this await, we want to set loading to false. Okay. Now, if results is true, we want to set our cart to empty, and I want to show a modal that we told the user that yes, everything was successful. So we're going to work on our modal now. We're going to import modal from MaterialUI. So importing our modal, and we're going to create a state to handle this modal. We're going to create a state. Let me just paste that here. So we're saying constant open set open. This will be used to check if we should open the modal or not, and then handle open and then handle close to close and open the modal. So let's go back down. Now I'll close it soon. Okay, so over here in our button, if loading is true, show loading. If it's not done, show the loading class. So our checkout, we're just formatting the cart sum plus delivery sum so we can know the total so the user can see it. If there's no session, we want to tell the user, please log in to be able to check out, else you'll not be able to check out. And then down here, we're just creating a simple div. So down here, we're just creating a simple div with a message, which we're going to create now. Let's create message.js. So here we're just showing the shopping cart icon and just saying order received successfully. Congratulations, your order has been placed, and then we're putting in a link for the user to go back to the home page. So that's just very, very simple and straightforward. So that's just what we're doing here. So we're going to have to import that. So we've imported that now. So it's complaining about the div. So we need another div here. Okay. So now our application should be working perfectly. Let's go back here and look through this. So now that we have set the modal, because you can see our modal is here. This modal will open when we, as you can see, open. It will open when it's either true or false. If it's true, it will open. If it's not, if it's false, it will close. So on close, handle close. So we're going to use something else to trigger the on open, and we're going to use if the result is true. If we get a true value here from our await, we're going to set the handle open to be true. So here we're going to say handle open, which is going to set the open to be true. And then we're going to say else alert error uploading order. So as you can see, very, very simple. And now that we've done that, we don't need this cart again. This is our fake cart. Just going to delete this. I'm going to highlight this. So now our page should be working perfectly. So let's go ahead and I really hope we've not exceeded our billing. No. Let me see. I hope we have. Oh my God. You can see. This is what happens when you use free things. But anyway, this has not totally been like used. So we're just going to chill and go back to our code. And so this should be working perfectly. We're going to test it out. I'm not going to test it out now because you can see Firebase is already warning me about my quota. I mistakenly left it open. So that is partly my fault. So we're just going to close all of this because all of this should be working perfectly. But let's check it out and just make sure everything is working perfectly. I won't even be able to like continue this video. Now I have to do a pause to when my quota has gone down so I can be able to like run this video. Let's just refresh. Hopefully we can do one or two things before this like stops completely. Scenario is not defined in our cart items. So we're going to refresh. Okay. Alright, so here it's showing now also our cart is empty. You can see here it's telling us to log in to be able to check out. Everything here is working perfectly. Let's go back to the home page. Go to gaming. Okay, so currently our Firebase quota has been exceeded, so we won't be able to do anything again. I don't think we'll be able to do anything again. I really need to put my card so I will not have disruptions when we're doing or creating code like this. Yeah, Firebase is all currently unavailable. So we're just going to pause and then I'm going to continue this video tomorrow. Okay, so now that our Firebase quota has reset for a new day, we can go ahead and test our code. So npm monitor. So this is going to start up our server. Let's go back and see how our site looks. All right, so this is our site. Still looking clean. Just log in. Sign in with Google. Accounts. And let's add some things to our carts. Phones and tablets. Page is unavailable. Gaming. Page is unavailable. What's going on here? Why is our page unavailable? Okay, seems like in our environmental files we failed to highlight this. So let's just Ctrl C. And let's run this again. Okay, so our server started. If you're wondering why my keyboard noise is a bit louder, it's because I just got a new setup. I will show it in some of my shorts. It's enabling me to work faster and be more productive when I'm at home. So that's just it. Okay, so our server is started kicking off again. So let's refresh this. So this page should work. Beautiful, beautiful. But now we have to log in again. So so sign back in. Let's go to phones and tablets. Let's pick any items here. Let's add this to our carts. Go back to home. Pick on fashion. Did I post anything on fashion? No, I did not. Let's pick Spider-Man. Add it to carts. Go to our cart. Okay. So in our carts now, 2 items. Let's test the remove button to see if it's working. Our remove button is not working. Why is that? So let's come back. Let's control, let's kill this terminal. Okay. Now cart item. Let's look at our code. Remove item index, set cards, new cards. Okay, we commented this, that's why. So let's go back. So here, and restart our code. Okay, we have to move to Jumia. So we restart our code. Okay, perfect. So once our code restarts, so it has restarted now. Let's refresh this. Okay, so good. Well, logged in back. Our cart is empty. Let's go to back here. Click on some products again. Spider-Man. Let's add 2 Spider-Man. Let's also add 2 Ronaldo. Okay, come back to our cart. By just showing our cart is empty after picking 2 items. What is the matter? What is the matter? Okay. Let's kill this terminal. Let's see, let's new cards. It counts. What's the matter? When we come to the page immediately, that code is running. So on items, let's check this on items. Remove item with the index on click. You also have any issue with this code, but let's just go through it again and see maybe we made a mistake somewhere. Okay, over here, this is not how to run a function. So here we want to say, because when you do it like this and you put this there, it is just running this function instantly. So every time we add things to our cart and we go to the cart page, it will just remove all the products in our cart, will just remove themselves from the cart. So this has to be created as a function in the button. So we're just going to say this and this. Okay, so that's just what we're going to do. And with that, our code should run perfectly now. Go to mkn there. So we're just going to let this load a bit. Okay, so we're going to refresh now. We're just trying to make sure we don't have any bugs or anything in our code. Okay, so let's go back to Jumia page. Supermarket this time around. Let's pick sunlight. Add it to the cart. Go back to supermarket. Pick this alcohol. Add to the cart. Come to our cart. Click on one. Okay. Perfect. So you can see it's running perfectly. Subtotal is correct. Delivery fee is free because this is free delivery. So phone number, let's put in the phone number, address, England, New Zealand, Manchester. Okay, so here we're seeing checkout is not a number. What is the matter here? Let's look at the code. we have to be careful not to touch anything so we don't go and like I said, but we're obviously going to touch something, so let's just keep this terminal. Over here, are we getting this? So you're saying format item dot product price. Okay, now this is the items. Let's go to the cart. The bottom, on the button. Check out there are some. Okay. Okay. So here we're saying cart sum, delivery sum. When we get them as numbers in our use effects here, don't seem to have any issues here. We will setting delivery sum to be this, cart sum to be this. Okay, so because the delivery fee is null and is adding to a number, it is causing this not a number issue. So let's come down. Let's go down. So over here we're saying cart sum plus delivery sum undefined. So the cart sum is defined, the delivery sum is not defined, and that's why we're having that issue. Something is there where we can convert this to a number. You can usually convert this to a number by just adding plus at the back. Let's just check that, because I think forget how to convert. But you can't convert something that is nothing into a number. That is the problem. You can't convert something that is put into a number. So here, let's just see if this will work. This is error. It's an error. Right. Yes. It's not defined. Let me see if this will work. I haven't tried this before, but I'm going to try it now. So, delivery sum. If there's nothing delivery sum, use just 0. Else, if there's nothing delivery sum, use 0. Else, use delivery sum. Let's share this video. Okay, so it seems this may work. So let's try it. Okay. We're trying very cautiously not to get some issues. I think this may work. So let's try. Let's try it now. Let's pick some items. The same items we picked the last time that have free delivery. So let's pick those items. Pizza. Now we're seeing nothing. Like nothing at all. It's not what we want. We don't want this to be showing nothing. So how do we do it? Let me see. I don't want to create a complex code here. I don't want it to be complex. So let's just kill this. What if we do an if check to check if delivery sum is empty, then we'll run a certain code. If not, to run a certain code. Or should we really just use the cart sum rather than using delivery sum? I think that's what we should do. Let me see how this is looking. So check out the Naira figure. So you just need to put just a total here. So when the user is clicking it, he knows it's total. So I think it's important for us to use that if check. So we're going to do a bit of a long process on this. So I'm going to do this. This. Okay. So we're going to do a new one. We're going to say if there's nothing in delivery. Wait, is it delivery sum or delivery? How did we save it? Okay, it's delivery sum actually. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, so here, delivery sum. If there's nothing in delivery sum, let's run a different code. Let's say cart sum. Delivery sum. Make this here. Yes, let's say in delivery sum. That's delivery sum. Okay, so we're saying if there's nothing in delivery sum, just shows the cart sum, else show cart sum plus delivery sum. So we have to also format this. So let's take this. Format. So anything that is inside here, we have to format it. So that means we have to put this here. Now.format. I don't know where to put this now. So we have the narrow.format here, and here we're just using it format anything inside here. Okay, we put that here. Let's copy this and put this here. No, let's copy it again. Put inside here. Okay, then come here. It sets here. And let's follow this. Okay, so let's try this and see how it works. Funny enough, I didn't run into this issue when I was coding the site at first, and I'm just running that into that issue right now. So I'm just creating, trying to find a quick solution for it. Okay, so our site should be running now. Let's refresh. This is my market. Pick the same thing. Okay, so you can see everything is working perfectly now. Remove. Beautiful. We can see we don't have the second this thing here, so let's just put that. Hopefully our code doesn't show much of an error. Okay. All right, so you can see perfect now. So let's add our phone number, delivery information, England, Manila, Manchester. All right, let's check out. What is going on here? Okay, so our order received successfully. Now we can go back home. Was our cart cleared? Our cart was not cleared. It didn't seem to clear. So we need our carts to be cleared, which is up here in our submit. So see here, we need to set the cart to clear. Let's queue this. Over here, after submitting the form to our listing, we need to now say results. Okay. Handle open. But also we set the cart sum here. Okay, this set cart sum. That's a mistake. It's supposed to be set carts alone. So here we have set carts. Okay. Better. So here now, we'll now empty the cart for us and handle open for us. So that is all done here. What other issue do I want to make sure don't have? The SDS. So go to the Navbar. Check chat ones. Okay, yeah. Let's delete that S from here. Okay. So our shopping cart is looking perfect now. We don't have any issues with it. I don't think we do. I don't think we have any issue with our shopping cart. Now in our main page, I want us to be showing products depending on their category here. So we're going to do that now. So we're going to come to recommended. We're first going to create a new file. I'm going to say Oraimo.js. This is going to display all the Oraimo products in our database. This. So just a simple code. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here and explain it. So we're importing use effect and use states. We're also importing posts. So I'm going to explain that. Recom header that we created, and we are importing our function fetch products by brand. We don't need this actually. I later did not use that. So what we're saying here, we're saying use effects. Anytime the page renders, we want to create a use effect that fetches all the products with the brand Oraimo and sets the post which we have here to be those products results we got from this function. Let's clear out the console log. So we are creating that inside a use effect function. It's an async function because it has awaits here, and then we're calling that inside use effects to run, and then it sets the posts that we want. And then here, over here, we're just saying map all the posts if there's anything in the post. If you don't put this, before the dot, it will create an error because obviously this is an await function. It's going to take a while, like a few milliseconds to get the data. So in the first instance, when the page is loaded and that data is not there, it will come out as post is undefined. So that's why you want to put this question mark here to say if there's nothing in post, don't do anything, or if there's something in post, then render all of this. So we're rendering what we get from the products inside each post and inside a carousel, and in the post we're just passing on the key as a post.id, the title, the image, and the price, which we formatted here, and also the ID of the post. And so it enables us to link to the upper channels. So we're going to get our post. So we're going to come here, we're going to get a new file, going to name it code. Yes, it's that here. Very simple code. We're just getting the title, image, price, and the ID. We're just displaying the image, and then we're linking to the products page with the ID as the params. And then we're just displaying the price and the title here. That's just all we're doing in the post page. So we've done that for Oraimo. We also want to do that for other categories. Because in our Oraimo, we're using fetch products by brand. So we're also going to be fetching products by category. So we're going to create a new one called gaming. This nothing too fancy. It's the same thing with the Oraimo page. Okay, but this time around we're fetching products by the category gaming, and then we're setting the posts. We don't need this console, and then we're setting it to be our post here, and which we're now mapping through it with the help of post. So that's just what we're doing here. And we have the first recommended, which is just categories. We have another recommended here, which we're going to paste here. All right, so over here, we're just fetching. They create an error. Okay, so in this recommended, we're fetching product by category. We're just using supermarkets, just like we did in this gaming. It's the same thing, just that over here we're using gaming, and over here we're using supermarkets. It's pretty much the same thing. And you can even create like just use this as an instance and then just pass a props with category here, and then use that for here instead of create like multiple pages like I've done, but I've just done that. It's just now I'm coming up with like the idea. There's something I should have done for the code. Okay, so post here, just getting this information they use in our post. And so we're going to display all this in our main page. So we're going to go to pages and our index. So after recommended, we have the slider main page. So here we're going to post another recommended. Recommended for you. Then want to post Oraimo products. And after this slider that we have here, you want the game. Okay. So now we can start our server. Okay. Let's start our server. So it's saying here, say import welcome header for header is not found. Okay. I can't understand that. Let's queue this. Let's go back to gaming first. Welcome header. Let's count this. And this. So here we're going to see that is option that we used to do that. I'm currently using option. Is it option or control? Okay, control space. Okay, recom header. Okay, so this recom header we imported. This how it should be. Let's go to Oraimo. It's not the same things. Okay, we named it header before. All right, so here, same thing. All right, so now we can test our code. Okay, so we're running the code now. Okay. What page is this? Since I've called a function that I later did not use. Checking. Which page is this? Push. Let's check it now. Okay, so it seems it's ready. Let's refresh this. All right, our page is ready. You can see we're getting things from the supermarket, Oraimo products, and gaming. Awesome. So our page is complete now. From here we can even pick products straight up. Okay, and add it to the carts, add it to the carts. Go to our cart. See, it's 2 items. Remove 1. Type for number once. England. And checkout. All that has been placed. Go back home. Okay, so that concludes it for this. I'm going to create another video where I'm going to show you the admin panel, because I don't think I'll be able to put that in this video as well. So that will be a video of its own, as you can see, looking nice and clean. Let's see this one here. Okay, so make sure to leave a like, to subscribe. It really helps the channel. Please do that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.